Alright, hello everyone. This is Sergeant Z-Dog. I am just recording this match because we're not running during my regular stream time. So, this is my second round tournament match, though technically it's the third round of the tournament. I basically had a bye in the first round. Um, this match is versus Lieutenant Quixotic. We're on Salt Exchange. I'm still the bottom player, so he is the host. I will be going second. I am noticing the ready button's not toggleable. Ah, okay. I thought I had to hit ready, but I guess not. So if for those of you who caught my first match, I'm running basically the same list, but prior to going into this, I did a bunch of math and decided I really actually, for Blood Angels mirror matches, was pretty happy with what I had. The only change is I dropped one of my land speeders, and then on my Furioso Dreads, dropping that one land speeder let me upgrade all four Furiosa Dreads to having Meltaguns in place of the Stormbolters. The Stormbolters' low AP value makes them, I'm not going to say useless, but less useful is maybe the right term. There's the objective I was looking for. So yeah, so other than that, that's the only change. This is otherwise the same force that I had in the first one. So we're just in deployment right now, so I'm just gonna kind of drag stuff around. Um, so I've got an easy claim objective over here. I'm gonna put two land speeders on that side to help claim it. We're gonna leave this last land speeder in the center area to help me out. Um, so the Librarian Dreadnought, I think, especially since it's my HQ, we'll go ahead, leave it back, let it do more of its casting. I'm gonna put this Dreadnought on this side just to give ourselves a little more room to maneuver. Yeah. I'm gonna put this land speeder over here as well, and then so I've got a bunch of these inceptors. Let's run them more or less down the sides again. I'm intending to claim this objective, but then not make a serious effort at holding it. Let's get our Tech Marine into the center where he can apply his buffs accordingly. Just gonna double check positions here. Yeah. So, uh, just to kind of explain kind of the reasoning for switching to the Meltaguns, because I do really like the Stormbolters on Dreadnoughts, and obviously the Heavy Flamers are really potent as well. Heavy Flamers definitely would be a solid option. They get a much better AP value. Um, but what they Space Marines don't have a lot of targets right now where heavy flamers are really what you want to use. You're basically down to Assault Marines obviously are like the perfect target, right? You also have intercessors and as well as the intercessors, you're also going to have the you, sorry, my brain is just stopping. Death Company, also a pretty reasonable target. Everything else is either single model or enough higher armor value that it's not necessarily a great weapon. Um, so there's definitely still a lot of call for that heavy flamer, because those three targets are still pretty good. Two of the three are coming to you, so it's not even like getting delivery on that heavy flamer is that difficult. At the same time, though, if we compare that to the list of targets where where the meltagun is useful, you've got obviously all the vehicles. The meltagun's going to do really well because it's a single high damage shot versus a single model target. That's obviously going to do really well. So all the vehicles, it's useful. You've got a number of characters where having that meltagun is still going to do really well for much the same reason. Um, Obviously, with things like land speeders and the characters, the armor value is a decent bit lower than the AP value you're bringing, so you're actually getting more than that, but that just ends up giving you some extra crit chance, so, that's kind of okay too. Um, and, when we look at, say, Inceptors or Aggressors, okay, yeah, you don't get to hit all three in the squad, but you're also hitting with enough force to just flat drop a guy. And killing one guy is much better than wounding three guys, especially if your opponent has an apothecary who really likes to heal those high armor value multi-model units like aggressors and inceptors. So, I'm just okay. Yeah, this is why I was avoiding putting something in these two squares because I can't do this diagonal move. So,
the defensive Angelicum stands with you.
What we're going to start with is these guys are going to both pop their abilities to get a little bit of extra movement and also a little extra scouting so that I can see if he moves all the way up onto that objective. Oh, isn't that interesting? They started right next to each other, but he, for some reason... Is it because I can't go here to here as a diagonal move? That's got to be it. Interesting. Okay, that shouldn't matter too much. Just a little bit annoying. But the popping that ability means I got an extra square movement combined. And this is why one of the big reasons I brought a pair of them was to get that extra bonus from the anti-grav uplift. We're going to do I'm going to do a similar thing over here. There's not really going to be anything to shoot at anyway.
Land speeder crew awaiting orders. With speed.
So we're going to pop over here. Do that. And let's go get some reconnaissance done. Ooh, before I do that, I'm going to do same thing with this guy so that he also gets the bonus before I move this one out of that area. Oh, interesting. So I'm having almost the opposite situation happen here where the guy on the inside, I guess, is able to make one extra diagonal move. This one wasn't, and is going to be move one extra square. But that's okay. Again, we're just kind of looking to... There we go, yeah. So he's got... This is regular land speeder and a unit of death company with... What do they have? Bolt pistols. Okay. Okay. Bolt pistol's probably the better option for him, given what I've got. We have another unit of death company here. This is just a plain heavy bolter land speeder. Obviously, I'm making a pretty heavy inclusion of those myself. Let's go ahead. I'm going to bring this guy here. This cover should keep me pretty well safe. Going that extra square over. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So, land speeder. So I see a decent bit of Death Company. That's going to be fun to go up against. You know what? Let me double check the weapons on these. Heavy bolter and bolt pistols again. Okay. Um, you know what?
With
Real
speed.
quick here, let's check that direction and check that direction. Don't expect to see anything new, but you know, it's free. Let's do it just to be sure. I'm gonna make enough mistakes later. Let's not compound it with mistakes now. So you have access to these 3 squares all the way across there and all the way across there. I don't. This, you know, compared to the dreadnoughts, this looks like a table. Obviously, it's some sort of raised platform. A little bit strange, honestly. Like, I'm not sure. Like, the fact that we're fortifying it with sandbags and not having fortifications directly built onto it indicates that it would be native to whatever this facility is normally, but I'm not sure what it would have been used for. But either way, we're going to use it for the cover that it is, which is, you know, pretty much what the developers intended it to be, obviously. The Librarian Dreadnought I can bring up to here because, of course, he has that extra movement. Quickening would cost me 1 AP but give me 3 movement, so basically giving me 2 extra squares, so I could go to here. Not quite here behind the cover, so I don't think we're going to bother. I might even bring him over here, honestly. No, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to...
Not even death will stop me. Affirmative.
I don't think he's got anything anywhere close to inside a jump range of me, but just trying to stay in good habits here. I think we're going to leave this guy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I want him here.
Confirmed. Grace through discipline.
He's not going to have a good shot on that square anyway because of the cover and the range. So we're just going to go, I think, to here.
Forever watching.
Tech Marine standing by.
We're going to put the Tech Marine here behind cover.
Always forwards.
Same thing here.
Heavy
You guys.
support.
So my inclination is to put them here where they can affect either this objective or this objective. But that would require me using my jump and then walking on the following turn. And when I do that jump, I'm going to be kind of in the middle of nowhere and out in the open. So I think what we do is we walk to here this turn, walk to here the turn after, and then we can jump to wherever we need to be. Obviously, jumping, we do take the accuracy penalty, but I guess 4, we'd get 5. Yeah, part of my worry is that I can't jump over this crane, um, and maybe not even over these silos or whatever they are. So yeah, I think we go here and hope. As I said, I wasn't not super feeling super strong about taking that objective anyway. You know, these two, controlling these two and this one is the 3 out of the 5 that I really need to get and hold a victory. So, and honestly, you know, if I take these two, this one, and then push to that one, deep as it is, that would really work just as well. We'll push these guys all the way to here.
Challenge accepted. Inceptors waiting
Obviously,
to
we got a little
launch.
bit more Overwatch here. It's not really
Death
gonna,
from above.
like, we're super
Defensive zone
inaccurate at
set.
this range, but we got it. We might as well take it. It's not like we're gonna lose any momentum anyway. Who do we
Heavy
got
close
left?
support.
You know, I don't expect he's even got anything in reach, but we're gonna go for it. Here's to hoping that we don't lose sync. I know one of the players in Discord has been reporting it's that first turn.
Picked up movement on the Auspex.
So yeah, he's claiming one of these center objectives. Oh, of course so this is a subtle advantage for player one that objective. See, this one you'll notice it displays it's next to him. On the other one, though, that first one we saw him capture, the objective is actually on my side of it, which means from my perspective, uh, the objective is actually giving his guys cover, I think. That's something we'll have to check. But it's definitely a consideration.
Taking fire.
Oh, that was the center objective, though. I'll bet yeah, okay. That's actually, okay. That's perfectly fair, because of course the reverse is also true. The other one, the one that's closest to me, is going to give me cover from him. So, there's some Hellblasters. These look like regular Hellblasters. But yeah, regular plasma incinerators, not the heavy plasma incinerators. Overwatch, okay. Sure. Go for it, buddy. He may just flat be out of range. I admit I probably would have taken the shot rather than risk me just not moving into range. Um, Though I guess he did get that center objective, I'm kind of obligated to go and take it from him. Eh. More Death Company uses the action point to preserve the Death Company's momentum. A little bit of glitching out on the, or not glitching, but clipping on the terrain there. Furioso of his own. What weapon does it have? Stormbolter. Okay. Another one. Also a Stormbolter. I'm feeling those melt guns gonna be pretty tidy here. These look like more regular Hellblasters, not upgraded. Yep. Regular plasma incinerators. Plasma incinerators. There. Ooh, heavy plasma incinerators, unless I'm mistaken. More heavy plasma incinerators. So these are the big boys, more little boys. And an LT. The LT is his command unit, so it's probably his only LT, which is fair. I mean, you could definitely bring more than one LT. I'm not sure I'd bother. Actually, you know what? One thing I do want to check. Just a simple chainsword, which is a bit of an interesting choice. Not. Are we going to see Overwatch out of all of these Hellblasters? Yes, it looks like. Hellblaster's definitely a pretty solid choice. I pretty much went with the Inceptors over Hellblasters just because I liked the higher armor value that the Inceptors give, plus the mobility. We definitely saw in that first match just how effective the high armor values were of the Dreadnoughts, and even really the Inceptors. Overwatch out of the Stormbolters on those Dreadnoughts, we don't care. Strategically, where is this? Okay, so he is pushing really hard for the objective on my side. He's trying to make sure that I can't get on it. 1, 2, 3,
Bring me your
4.
broken
Yeah.
and your
So
outworn,
you'll
and I
notice
will repair them anew.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, optimum range. This is optimum range for like all of this stuff. Maybe not the heavy plasma incinerators. They might be optimum 5. The point though is that I can't get on this objective without entering optimum range of basically everything and jump range of these Death Company. So 1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Taking fire! Firing on the enemy. Taking fire!
And then we're gonna
Ready for recon.
move
With
back.
speed.
Okay, so one, 2, 3, 4 here. Is this gonna trigger both of these Overwatches or just one? If it's both, that's probably the end of that land speeder.
They died, so we can push forward.
So, you know, shooting the land speeder not gonna be nearly as valuable, nor will we even do as much damage.
We are taking fire.
My phone. What on earth? Oh, okay. So we did flat knock one plasma. So if I jump these guys, they're gonna be stuck in the middle of a lot. Um, that's already 5. I'd only get them to here. Barely in range anyway. Not worthwhile. We'll just tuck them. I wonder if I move them to here, they'll provoke some of this Overwatch while still having a really good cover save. Let's try that. Putting them here on the corner? No, it didn't. That's kind of a bummer, honestly, but not unexpected. So
Not even death will stop me.
we definitely saw just how effective Hellblasters are versus land speeders. I mean, two Hellblaster shots drops a land speeder. It's painful, man. How do you move up into this Overwatch, especially this many Hellblasters? Honestly, it's even the regular Hellblasters don't necessarily frighten me because I don't think you can Overwatch with their overcharge ability. It's really
Past, future, there is only service to the Emperor.
I have to claim that objective. So, because if I
So
don't
what
do it,
does
I'm just going to
protect
get
you?
so far behind. So
Trust
I think
in
we're going to
your
do
armor
the
to
same
turn
thing.
their blades.
I know this says 7. He should actually be 9 with those 2 1-point armor buffs. Oh, that's only a melee armor buff. Probably won't end up making a difference, but it does still give him the extra hit points needed, hopefully, to survive this. Dive onto the point.
We will fall upon them with righteous fury.
Yeah.
The Defensor Angelicum stands with you. Impedance
A little outside of
acknowledged.
the optimum range there. He went for
Impedance
5 rather than
acknowledged.
4. I would have set it for 4.
Impedance acknowledged.
Interesting. Really short range set on these Furiosos, but we did survive this, and actually with enough to even survive the end of my ability use here. That lets me pop that.
Confirmed.
So one of the things I saw on the Discord, someone was mentioning that if you have the facing go back towards the thing, that lets the animation finish, and that is what lets me set that. We're gonna face this way. Now, the question
Yet to be the
is,
Xenos my axe couldn't bisect.
can he get up that far? He cannot. Okay. We'll set an Overwatch all the way up to 3. We lose some accuracy doing that, but no more than if we jumped.
I await your orders.
That provides cover, but of course it also costs me a point of movement, basically. Let's see if moving here provokes a long-range Overwatch out of him. Nope, it doesn't. This is honestly kind of a terrible shot. But I don't necessarily have a better shot, and I'm not expecting one, so yeah, didn't get it. That's okay. This shot should hopefully be
By
better.
your command.
I probably does this... Wow! What did he set his Overwatch range to? This is a better shot. He only has his evasion bonus. I know it feels like that facing is weird, but it works just as well as facing him that way. Did I just use both? Oh, shoot. I did not mean to use both his action points. 1, 2, 3 here.
On the move. Target locations acquired.
Opening fire.
Boom.
The defensor Angelicum stands with you.
What needs fixing? On my way.
Yeah, I think here. This is going to be some lousy shots, but it's kind of the best shots we got. You might as well get back into the cover.
Not even death will stop me. Confirmed.
I'm going to bring these guys up because I have a feeling pushing this point is going to be pretty important. Probably should have done one square less. Look at these guys ready to come in on me. We're going to Overwatch here just in case he decides to do something stupid with the Death Company. We can maybe zap one. I think that's... Don't really... I mean, this guy's gonna go boom. I mean, definitely getting onto that objective is still worth a lot. Hopefully we've done enough to at least keep him from pushing with that.
Land speeder crew awaiting orders.
And of course I've got these guys I can fall back as well if I need to. Let's find out if I have a feeling he's just gonna move in just enough to kill this with the Hellblasters, come in with his own Furioso, and claim that. And we're gonna back and forth with this objective. We'll find out if my Meltagons are enough to make the difference. This is gonna be interesting.
Taking fire!
Yeah, he's gonna move up, take a shot. Yeah, won't quite be able to kill it. He'll have to bring the Hellblasters in. That's an interesting position for that, but it'll make room for these Hellblasters who will have enough of a shot now to finish that thing off. Fortunately, it doesn't explode violently.
Target is beyond my vision. Taking fire!
That cover making the difference. This is going to be one of the Death Company. He's probably checking to see where he can really get to. He can. Oh, fudge. Well, they're screwed. I don't think I'm winning this match.
We have been engaged.
Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this match. He's completely won this flank. And Scepter's not very good at dealing with Death Company because Death Company, uh, with their assault packs, ignore my pistol reaction fire. Some weak hits there. He could have avoided the elbows if he'd done his charge right, but he didn't. He's out of movement, I think, which means he doesn't get to charge in with the third Death Company to shoot me. Not getting a critical hit and letting that one guy survive with 2 hit points is going to help, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
We are taking fire.
Those 3 hit points. I mean, he's still going to die because the hit point buff is going to end and he'll go boom. But it means he's going to have to spend another action, bring another unit out instead of overwatching before he can bring up his own Dreadnought. Where are these guys going? I would have left them there. Ah, right, of course. That's probably a dead Death Company unit, depending on how I play this. Gonna
Impedance
be
acknowledged.
kind of a terrible shot, but 40 damage is 40 damage. It's not terrible. Of course he still has the movement. Alright. I don't think he's in Zoc range there. I think that corner protects me from Zoc, but we'll find out.
Impedance acknowledged.
125. Did he do any damage to himself? 2.
Our death is the price for the glory of the Imperium.
Did he just fucking 2-tap that? Fuck those heavy incinerators. Shit, how many squares is that? One? It's hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was beyond his optimum range? And he didn't miss a shot. Heavy incinerators definitely are a good option in a Blood Angel's Mirror. I'm not faulting him for that. I think my big problem here with the Blood Angel's Mirror going second is, being player 2 is I don't have a counter for this. I mean, we've seen land speeders are going to get shredded. They get 2-tapped by regular incinerators. I'm sure it's going to be worse against the heavy incinerators. You saw I could kind of pull off get Shred Not to Survive for a turn to get on the objective, but I can't. The Inceptors are doing okay. I mean, they're absorbing a decent bit of fire, but the problem is Death Company are a pretty effective counter to them. He's not doing the greatest job using them, but still an effective counter. And the problem is, a player 1 can score a couple of objectives. Even if he lets me get onto an objective first, he's got long-range firepower to set up the Overwatch, and there's just no way I can deal with that Overwatch beyond doing the armor buffs that I did. Unless I'm throwing away units, which, that's a bloody terrible choice. If I've got a command point, he's set me up for a good strafe, but you don't get... Maybe that's what you need, is you need player 2 gets 1 command point to start or something. I mean, I won my first match pretty handily, but that was a lot of that was he brought bolt weapons, despite the fact that I had Blood Angels, which, you know, if I'd had more Intercessors and
Yet to be the
Hellblasters, would
Xenos
have done
my
a little
axe
more.
couldn't bisect.
Maybe that's what I needed, was more Intercessors who maybe trade a little more favorably. The problem is these Inceptors, not that much more and a lot more effective. Um,
Heavy close support.
okay, so I don't think it matters here. Let's go
Engaging
with
target.
there.
Challenge accepted.
That's not really gonna matter, but we'll do it. See, he's still got. I mean, I don't care about this Overwatch, whatever. This blocks regular foot movement. There's nothing on that objective. I can claim that one. Interesting, I can step diagonally around this. These guys are... So I'm gonna have to claim the one that's on his side. Okay, let's start by dealing with these Death Company here.
Frag bombardment commencing.
This is the heavy. That's actually a better target. Not normally.
A couple of bolts to soften them up.
Fuck! That needed to be a melee attack. Fuck. Because the melee attack is gonna drop a guy, two guys. Fuck, that would have been 4 guys dead instead of 2.
Death from above.
Fuck. Alright.
Engaging target.
Hopefully this is enough. Yes, it's still enough. Okay. That's okay, because I had to do that shooting anyway, so... Breathe. Okay. Alright. So... These guys... This might provoke. Let's try this, because if this provokes, yes, it's from decent cover because of this. And the range is actually probably is optimum range. But with a bit of cover causing a couple of misses. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And shoot.
With speed.
We are taking fire.
There we go.
Got it.
Okay.
My
So-
duty remains.
Out of range.
My power is yours to command.
That's... Oh, this is the lib dread. Okay.
I await your orders.
3 to 4, right? Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, no, it's 2 to 4. That's pretty flexible range.
Grace
Move him
through
up.
discipline.
Interesting.
Destination confirmed. Resistance detected. Receiving fire.
I apparently
My
can't count.
will never tires.
Not quite one.
Ready for recon.
1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Firing on the enemy.
And back in the cover.
Past, future, there is only service to the Emperor.
Now this is only going to splash 1. What else do I have over here that I can bring in? Could bring these guys? If I jump pack them, where can I get to? Here? And then move them one... let's go here.
Without hesitation. Engaging target.
We're taking fire.
Beautiful. They're quite possibly dead next turn. Oh, he actually did a better job spreading out than I thought.
My vigilance is eternal.
What's the AP on this? Only 2.
Bring me your broken and your outworn, and I will repair them anew.
Got it.
Heavy close support.
Let's go here. If I didn't have this squad here that I want to make him take another action point to kill, I would shoot them. As it is, I'm torn between if I want to hit the Death Company or the Lieutenant. "36 times, 6 to 8 per shot." It's not necessarily any splash. So it should. AP2 versus Armor 5. Wait a minute. "36 times," but then it says ×1. I'ma hope that's just a description bug. Because I know that it doesn't only hit. Yeah. Had to check. These are regular ones. It's definitely the heavy ones I need to get rid of.
Command received.
You will need more than that.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. Don't really like that I have these two kind of stuck out in the open now. There's not much I can do about it. These guys. What do I do with you? 4, I'd only have 2 squares of movement, 1, 2. Wouldn't be able to get to anywhere safe after I jumped you out of that situation. Here and then jump back? Or even just here and walk back? Might even have a decent shot on them. "65, 38. Definitely these guys then.
Engaging target.
We are taking fire.
A bit lucky on the target priorities there.
The defense at Angelicum stands with you.
So I'm going to face him this way. That keeps him from being able to get onto my rear arcs. Because if he wants to jump in for a melee, I'm not going to be able to stop him. So I should be able to take this one. Hold this one. The challenge is going to be, can I keep this one? And I don't know that I can. I mean, once I kill these guys off and claim this one, I can start racing units over. So maybe we'll find out.
Target is beyond my vision.
So he's realized, I think, that that flank is untenable. He's trying to fall back, get as much damage as he can, probably with Overwatch. Oh no, he's got a shot here.
Taking fire.
Kind of long range, but you might as well take it. That unit of Inceptors is already pretty weak, so any damage you get on it, it's gonna hurt. I'll be curious. If I were him, I'd go 1, 2, take your shot, and then 1, 2 back into the cover. Maybe even overcharge to help guarantee with the long range. Oh, okay. That's gonna hit my guy. And yeah, that's that hurt. I mean, the good news is I'm not gonna have a unit of assault marines adding into this mess. They'd only have bolt pistols, but chainswords still leave a mark. What? Oh, okay. So I mean, this is obviously. Well, I guess he's gonna be able to do it. Yeah.
So we can push forward.
So that frees up this unit. He did already use his jump pack, but yeah, that land speeder moves on to this next turn. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Yeah, he's already got almost enough movement. Obviously, these locations not entirely accurate. He's probably more like here-ish, but you know, what do I do about it? There ain't nothing. Also, notice, so I've got 2 objectives still. So I'm going to be at 20. He's already got a 15-point lead on me, and of course his score increments first. You know, I was looking at this earlier. From the matches in this tournament so far, the person who goes first versus the person who goes second, we're 4-4. I think it's about to be 5-4 with this match. And maybe this is just a matter of, you know, I didn't quite have the... Oh, interesting that we're losing the skins there on these weapons when they're in the zone there, but not the rest.
I sense a future adversary.
Anyway, you know, obviously, you know, there's definitely a possibility he's got the better force for a Blood Angel's Mirror. I'm just not sure, though, what I'm supposed to bring here that's supposed to counter what he's got. Predators, maybe? I'm not sure I'm sold on that. They're so expensive. Maybe a Predator with the Flamestorm cannon. The problem is I would still need to basically do the same thing I did. of, write off one vehicle that's been buffed up with all the armor I can give it and just send it in to die. Maybe you do something like that with like aggressors or something. They can't get the tech marine buffs. They're only going to be sitting on armor 8, and you saw how much trouble armor 11 had. Yeah, he's gonna walk over and just punch me. Their Overwatch, he doesn't have anything to cover this Dreadnought. I was thinking like Dreadnought close combat weapons could probably use a So one guy missed, one guy grazed, and the other guy hit for 1 damage. That's beautiful. Oh wait, no? That was a graze and a 1? But only one guy should have hit back. Does he hit? He shouldn't have hit back twice. Does the graze modify a damage number that you do see? I wonder. I don't know.
Target is beyond my
That
vision.
mechanic is not explained well enough. One of the problems I'm going to have here is those Inceptors. I'm going to lose one of them when this Dreadnought blows up. Not much I can do about that. This has range 2, just range 1. 1, 2, 3. Ouch. One outside of optimum range. I can pretty much ignore this thing's Overwatch.
Tech Marine standing by.
Wait a minute, didn't he hit this guy? My Tech Marine should be missing a bunch of hit points, shouldn't he? Fairly certain we saw... Oh, we saw this get damaged.
Ready.
Okay. I mean, that still hurts, but I'm a little more okay with that. Let's take a look that way. Can't see anything.
With speed. Ready for recon.
Probably gonna get shot here. Just go ahead and claim that real quick.
Got it.
He's gonna survive, but barely, but it did get me onto the objective. The problem is, once again, I'm stuck in this situation where he has that first turn reach advantage. Okay, so that's obviously what I want to shoot at, to go ahead and just score that kill.
On the move.
He's got that first turn reach advantage. Probably not going to kill this guy here. Oh, 2 hit points. Fortunately, the most he's going to get there is that land speeder. And actually, might even be able to prevent that. I mean, he's already over halfway to the score.
Firing
Objective.
on the enemy.
We are taking fire.
Naturally, he wouldn't just finish off the guy that's wounded.
Got it.
My vigilance is eternal.
He's pretty much got to leave that one there. Four.
I await your orders.
you're gonna come up. Armor.
The
Buff
defense
him.
of Angelicum stands with you.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares. This is where that armor buff comes in.
Impedance acknowledged.
You know, I had been thinking I was going to damage buff the other one.
Opening fire.
Maybe I go for healing this one.
What needs fixing?
Oh, except of course I don't have the movement to do that.
I await your orders.
Yet the meter Xenos my axe couldn't bisect.
Let's try it from here. If the cover's too bad, we can always take the penalty. Yeah, no cover, which is exactly what I was looking for, which makes this boom.
Confirmed.
Okay.
Past, future, there is only service to the Emperor. My fury quickens.
Let's see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I have 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So to here, to here, 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 here. Then making sure I use my
I
melee.
have seen your death by my hands.
I don't get 2 strikes because I used my ability. However, that ability will give him 10 points of evasion. And of course gave me the movement to just avoid his melee. Plus, I'll now get a Zoc when he tries to move with these guys. He'll probably just fall back and I'll probably miss it. But such is life. Bring him into the cover. Now you guys, I think you just take this shot. It's gonna suck, but you know what? Honestly, maybe I take the shot and then try jumping to safety. I might lose a guy, but better to lose one than...
Without hesitation.
Splats one, but I get the other 2 away. I think that's about as good as we could ask for out of that, honestly. I think the match is still winnable for me. I'm I'm at the point where I can potentially get onto this objective this turn. And the chainswords are... The problem is, getting a third objective from him is going to be difficult. And since he scores first, I'm not sure getting a third is enough. He scores 10 points a turn. He would need 4 more turns. Those do so much damage. Oh, he took a hit there.
Impedance acknowledged.
I'll be able to repair a chunk of that back, but he's got more shooting to do still. And that's without even having this guy do a melee charge. I don't know how you crack Hellblasters as Blood Angels.
Our death is the price for the glory of the Imperium.
He still has 2 more units of Hellblasters. If I guess like the only thing I can think of as a counter is if you're going second as Blood Angels and a Blood Angels mirror and he's brought a bunch of Hellblasters, the only thing I can think of as a counter. That's fair. Is, you know, you can take your shot from just outside of what he set his Overwatch to, or, you know, if he... But at that point, you know, you're sitting on lower accuracy, of course. You know, you're sitting on lower accuracy. I believe I am, by the way, at this point, out of Dreadnoughts. Or maybe one more.
Target is beyond my vision.
1, 2, 3. I don't see any more. Have I lost all 4 already? I don't remember losing 4, but I must have lost 4. That's right. He 2-tapped 1 last turn. Because of the overcharge. Yeah, I just... You can shoot from outside of his range, but then you're taking optimal range penalties. And you're... You know, maybe you kill a few of his. But that's such a bland... Bleh.
The enemy is closed in.
I probably would have just gone for your overcharge, like... Unless... Oh, they might have already used it, maybe? I don't know. I would have gone for the overcharge. There's really no reason not to. You know, as soon as I smack you, I'm gonna kill you again. The unit's not that effective anyway. I don't want to be salty about losing here. Because, like, a big... I'm just trying to also be at the same time, you know, it's like I kind of have to be critical because... Did he kill it? He killed it, of course. Leaving that one guy on too, man. But, you know, a big part of this tournament is analyzing, yeah, what... That positioning. It's the only reason that he didn't. Thank God Pistol Zoc Because if Pistols didn't Zoc, he would have gotten on that and made this score that much worse. I don't blame him for trying. I definitely would have too. It was the right call to make, but I don't.
My vigilance is eternal.
What's the range on this? Single tile within one tile, which means I have to come back one, and even getting to here, I'm out in the open. For next turn, he just comes around. He just moves 4 squares over, shoots at my tech marine, shoots at the lib dread, and now I'm down those guys as well. And I still won't have gotten around the corner to claim this objective. To say nothing of the fact that these are jump troops. They can jump over and claim the objective from me. These guys, of course, already set up in Overwatch. I've only got one guy left here. This thing's at full health still. So I think after this match, it's definitely a question I'm going to pose to the community. What is the counter? I don't think there is one. We do have another strike.
Yet the meter Xenos my axe couldn't bisect.
This is terrible positioning, but honestly, I pretty much lost this guy anyway. And aha, that's exactly what I was looking for. So.
Targets acquired.
Yeah, sadly though, I mean, like, okay, that was good damage, but it's not enough to actually kill anything.
Death from above!
What? Interesting. I guess we do it against the Furioso here.
Impedance acknowledged.
You're
Without
dead
hesitation.
one way or another. Let's see. So you go 1, 2. I can heal and still use my other action point to step into the
My
fight.
will
1, 2.
never tires.
And then you only have 2 movement to get up to here.
They cannot stop me.
I guess we at least force some range. And also get him maybe out of the threat range of these Death Company. Probably not.
Aye, we'll have you back up in no time. Understood.
My vigilance is eternal.
Step to here and just Stormbolter, I guess. Might kill this one if we shoot him first. Nope, gonna shoot that one first and not do enough. Didn't even matter. Cool. This guy. 666. He's gonna get cover. Maybe he takes the Death Company at Land Speeder instead, though. Still killed the one, barely. These guys can start hoofing it over. So if I score 15 points a turn, which notice right now I'm only scoring 10. So 10 this turn, I'll have 40. I would need 3 more turns after this, so I need a minimum of 4 turns. Right now, he's going to score. He only needs 3. And that's assuming I take the objective. I have to take 2 objectives from him. I have to score this one. I have to hold the 2 that I have now. Okay. If I can keep this one's too far away from him, hopefully. And maybe I can... not in range to do anything. Go ahead and take the movement. I'm gonna have to score this objective. It's the only way I win. Is I... but that's... I'd still have to claim this one. There's no way I get onto this objective. There's no way. He's got so many Hellblasters back here still. There's no way. It doesn't happen. I need 4 objectives inside of 2 turns. The Lib Dread could get here, turn 2. If he didn't score first, sure. So what do I think potential fixes are? Maybe you start player 2 with an action point, or progress towards... I'm sorry, not an action point, but like the command point. You know, at least progress towards a command point, maybe. Did he really still not overcharge this? Why are you not overcharging that? I guess it might kill him, so... that's a reason. He's going back the direction I'm going to go towards anyway, because as I just mentioned, I have to get over there. Like, there's no choice. Jump off that. That's kind of what we were expecting. He claims that. Gets good hits on this guy. I should have turned him, but... I mean, his accuracy wasn't going to be that bad anyway. He's now stuck on this. Do I have enough to punish that? I might, actually. Melee charge, kill 2. These guys shoot. I can probably kill him and then score it with the Tech Marine. But, I mean, in the meantime, even reclaiming it, he still keeps me from scoring 5 points. Plus, plus killing them, I'm not getting over there to the other objective. Yeah. So yeah, possible solutions. Maybe player 2 gets some progress towards a... Is this the heavies? This is the heavies. Doesn't want to lose the guy, is probably why he didn't do the overcharge. Brings another squad. Notice this squad is in front. Gives these guys some cover.
Receiving fire.
So much damage. As far as
Resistance detected.
I don't see a way.
Resistance detected.
And maybe it's just this map, like it's so wide open. There's letting the Hellblasters dominate, but I'm not sure. But I mean, every map is gonna have some straightaways. Even if you've got some cover, they're gonna have cover too. I don't see. I don't see how... Like, that was with having cover. I mean, it probably wasn't... And of course he's killed enough for another strafing run. Oh my god, he's had 3. Which, I mean, you know, for how much he's killed, that's fair. If you didn't have 3 by now, how are you going to get to 3, right? Like, he's killed almost an entire 2,000 points worth of troops. If you don't get 3 command points out of killing almost 2,000 points worth of troops, when do you get a 3rd command point? I just, it's kind of the nail in my coffin here, or insult to injury, salt in the wounds.
Taking fire!
I don't know what the fix is to Blood Angels. First player has a swarm of Hellblasters, because I don't see a way you nerf Hellblasters unless you give Overwatch some sort of accuracy penalty. I mean, other games I think XCOM does it. I think that's what you gotta do. In campaign, a momentum penalty is pretty effective. In multiplayer, where you start without any momentum to lose anyway, other than on Death Company, it's not a problem. Who cares? You're not. There's no penalty for overwatching. As far as fixing the score situation,
My axe hungers.
well, yeah, whatever. Of course, he got the 1 point of suppression there, but didn't kill them. I only have 1 guy left.
Always forwards.
I probably don't even have enough.
Tech Marine standing by.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Better shot. Shot a different. Oh, there we go. Okay. But I don't have anything left. Like, that's the last thing. I killed 2. He's left with 1 guy on. I can't take him off.
Inceptors waiting to launch.
He'll score 20 points. So, yeah, Overwatch penalty. I did like the Meltaguns. I can't point at a thing that my army did wrong. Hellblasters did exactly what they're supposed to do to me. I mean, they are the Blood Angels anti-vehicle, um, but it's not like intercessors are a really solid counter. If you go with the auto bolt rifles, you're down to a 40% damage penalty. I think they're still higher damage output than the bolt rifles on intercessors. And for those long, they're not as high a max range, but because of the longer optimum range, you do end up a little bit more accurate when you are in range. Because I think they have a higher base accuracy and a lower fall off or something. Um, I mean, what did we kill of his? We killed the Death Company, 2 Land Speeders, 2 Hellblasters, and 1 Furioso. I mean, the Land Speeders, I mean, at 10 points more than in, actually no, they're the same price as an Intercessor. And they get so maybe it's a little bit less damage than what you would do with an Auto Bolter Intercessor. But you also didn't have to pay for the upgrade to the Auto Bolter. And you did get some mobility and I think better evasion out of it. So I can't say, oh, they're not valid. Um, I mean, I maybe would have been better off with some Hellblasters instead of the Land Speeders. Um, but, it's not like the Hellblasters or the Land Speeders are that bad. They're dropping a Hellblaster a turn, basically. On the other hand, the Hellblasters are killing half a Land Speeder a turn, which is quite a bit better. So I guess instead of the Land Speeders, I should have gone with Hellblasters. Taken the mobility hit. I mean, it's the same range, you're just basically dealing with 2 less movement, and you can overcharge for bonus damage when you need to, and not bother when you're shooting at lighter things like Land Speeders. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Land Speeders, which is 350 points. I wouldn't quite be able to get 4 Hellblasters, that'd be 360. So I'd get 3 or maybe 4 and just take the Storm Bolter instead of the Meltagun on one of the Furiosos. Then you do the same bait with the Furiosa that I did. Then you can move up with your Hellblasters and take shots. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much what you're stuck with. But then you're still giving them first turn shooting. You're probably shooting from really long range. Unless you let him... I mean, I guess I could have... You know, basically did the same thing he did. Just not take this objective on that first turn. Wait until I could move the Tech Marine up with the Dreadnought and hit it with the heal at the same time. It still would have died though, and then my Tech Marine would have been standing next to it. You know, if I'd done it with a Librarian Dreadnought, he can obviously pop the evasion on himself and has a few more hit points. But you saw how much extra shooting he had left still. He could have still killed it, and then I'm down, what is it, a 310 point model instead of a 165 point model? 185 since I had the melt-a-gun, but you know, whatever. Alright, let's main screen here. Calculator. We're gonna do some math. We don't need just a standard calculator. We'll do hot seat. Actually, I don't even need to go into that. We can just do this through the army management. So, Hellblasters. Plasma Incinerator has 4 attacks. So we've got 4 attacks times 5 guys in the unit. Times an accuracy of 80. Figure most units are going to be running, you know, probably on average you're looking at like 5-ish points of evasion. Obviously some units are negative evasion, that could be worse. Some units are more than 5 evasion, they'll be better. Let's assume 5 points. And that we're shooting at 0.75 accuracy. So times 0.75 is 15 times. So our against units that are armor 6 and lower, obviously anything lower we've got some crit chance giving us some bonuses, but I'm not going to worry about crits. Let's look at reliable numbers. We're going to do 7.5 damage against armor 6 and lower. Against higher things, we would probably overcharge to keep our damage up, right? But for right now, let's not worry about that. So times 7.5. Bearing in mind that, because what I'm wanting to look at is how effective would a Hellblaster be against another Hellblaster? 112.5. Hellblaster shooting another Hellblaster unit kills 1.5 Hellblasters a turn. And really, it's actually worse than that because it's 5 guys shooting compared to the land speeder's 1 model shooting. So instead of killing 1, you're wounding all 5. Which means if there's an apothecary around, he walks over, pops the heal on him, and they're in good shape again. I suppose, um, so divided by 5, whoops, divide by 25, I guess, since we multiplied by 5, you're doing, 22.5 damage. You would need to hit the unit 3 times, and probably either a 4th time or overcharge one of those. In the meantime, this is what I'm thinking here is okay. So you do your librarian dreadnought bait, where you rush out with all the defensive buffs on them you could throw to provoke that Overwatch, maybe even with a bit of cover save if you can finagle one, and then you move up your Hellblasters and you lay into the enemy Hellblasters. With all that done, you kill some of his. In the meantime, he still got to basically kill a Dreadnought or Librarian Dreadnought, which is worth more than the Hellblaster. Potentially, it's potentially 2 or 3 Hellblasters worth of guys, right? Depending on whether it's a Furiosa or a Lib. He lost maybe some Hellblast. He'll probably have lost some Hellblasters, right? You won't have done this if you can't hit back at all, right? You'll want to have accomplished something. But now your troops are moved up, stuck out in the open, just as his were. And he's going to do the same thing back, plus potentially finishing off that Librarian Dreadnought, plus moving up his own bait Dreadnought and I mean, I guess what you could do is you don't move up into range, you just move up, claim the objective. Like I did, you don't quite lose your Dreadnought, you move the Tech Marine in to heal him so he's a little bit harder to take out. And then you set up your Overwatch so that if he steps onto the objective, he dies. You're still going to lose your Dreadnought, but he can't advance to take the objective without losing something, right? The problem is you've still fed him a Dreadnought. He can still, since he's got first turn, he's got the movement advantage to potentially move a Dreadnought, or maybe even this might be one of those places where the Predator is a little bit better because you can get the extra movement out of it. So you move either a Lib Dread or a Ball Predator onto the point, claim it, and then move back around to the cover. Now he's claimed the point. Maybe it's beat up, but it's back. He's managed to pull it back, get it in cover. He can start repairing it with a Tech Marine if he's got one. If not, whatever, it provides some Overwatch and is a bomb waiting to happen, whatever. The point is you didn't actually get the kill, so you didn't get the command point progress, you didn't get the momentum gains. Yeah. I don't mind, where Inceptors versus Hellblasters sit. That's a pretty comfortable matchup. And the Inceptors are good at knocking on a lot of other Space Marine units, so the weakness to Death Company is perfectly fine. Similarly, they are weak to Assault Marines for basically the same reason. Um, what is Death Company movement? 4 plus 2 for jump pack, which I think is the same as Assault Marines. Yeah, 4 plus 2 for jump pack. So it's not like you're getting any extra movement out of Death Company. 70 points, I think 90? Yeah, 90. Death Company are a good upgrade. You're getting, I guess they're the same. You get half again as many hit points for just the hit points alone. I guess you're losing the crack grenade. Whee! I mean, when you consider your Black Rage, the significantly more effective hand flamers. I don't think the pistols are more effective. 2 attacks, 5 to 7. 1 to 3 with 90 accuracy. 4 attacks, 3 to 5. Still 90 accuracy. So that's 12 to 20 versus 10 to 14. Definitely weaker bolt pistols, but honestly, if you're doing shooting with these guys, it's going to be the hand flamers because this Black Rage is going to cook your accuracy to shit. Because you got to remember, jump pack's already giving you a 20-point accuracy penalty on these guys. It's not like Inceptors who only have a 10-point accuracy penalty, which is already pretty bad. These guys, it's a 20-point accuracy, so yeah, the bolt pistol's 90 accuracy is good, but when you consider that once you've jumped, which only 4 movement means you're jumping a lot, if you actually want to get anywhere, you're already down to 70 accuracy, which is what the Inceptors are sitting at. Then you stack on, 2-3 stacks of Black Rage, let alone the 5 they can get to. Yeah. 2 stacks of Black Rage and you're sitting at 50-50 accuracy. These bolt pistols don't do much. The only thing that kind of saves them is they're kind of high damage. You're just so much better off with the flamers, where you're hitting whole squads. Yeah. So much better off with the hand flamers if you're going to do any shooting. And honestly, for 20 points, pretty solid upgrade. So at that point, really the big thing you're missing is the fact that the assault squads can take the Inferno pistols. The problem you got there is base accuracy 80, chop another 20 points off for the jump packs, and you're looking at 60% accuracy. Ouch. Since it's a handgun version of a pistol version of a melt gun, you're only 30 to 40 damage. Only AP6. Nah, man. Plus 40 points. Yeah, I feel like the Inferno pistols could use a points reduction. Considering it, yeah. 1 to 2. Oh, are these actually the same stats as the Death Company Flamers? 4, 1 to 2. 4, 1 to 2. Yeah, okay. Sorry, during the beta, I think the Death Company had much better hand flamers, but it looks like they're actually the same stats now. Yeah. Just trying to think, what is in this lineup that I feel like I could run against Hellblasters and do okay? Maybe after you bait the enemy shooting, a librarian comes in and does some serious work with the Bloodlance. With 4 armor piercing, you're not losing much damage. And of course, it's quite possible he's all in a line. You've got 4 and 2 is 6. Maximum range is only 2. That's not right, is it? I feel like the range is 3, not 2, but maybe it is 2. If it's only 2, that's really bad because, of course, 37 to 50, you need to hit twice to actually kill the Hellblasters. Let me clear. So that's 37 plus 50. Divide that by 2. Hellblasters are going to have 5 armor, so you're minus 10%, 39.15. Just barely over half. So you need 2 Blood Lances and no low rolls. 2 Blood Lances means you're devoting 420 points of Librarians to this endeavor, and that's after you consider the Predator or Dreadnought variety, a 9 armor model that you then also dropped a Tech Marine buff onto as well for an extra point of armor. Plus the ability to maybe heal some of that damage back after the fact. Okay, so I mean, plus the fact that you pretty much had to do Wings of Sanguinus to get enough movement to get there from a safe distance. And then Bloodlance means you've used both action points, which means you haven't meleeed, which means that well, I mean, you didn't lock anything in melee. You're not getting any. Well, I guess you will still get Zocs, but if you didn't kill whatever you're standing in front of, he doesn't have a shooting penalty against you. Granted, I guess Hellblasters being that close to you aren't going to be super accurate anyway. But I mean, you're still a 5 armor model with only 180 hit points, standing right in front of the whole army. And you've got 2 of them, 420 points, and you've killed 2 squads, not even major points back on one of your 2 librarians. In the meantime, Heavy Plasma Incinerator, we're doing 41 plus 55 divided by 2 for the average of that roll, times 5 guys, times point, what is that, like 65, kind of terrible accuracy, 156. Obviously that's going to vary pretty widely, but that's without throwing on the overcharge if you want, or any accuracy buffs from, say, a lieutenant, or evasion debuffs from, say, a librarian dreadnought or a land speeder. So you take 2 Hellblasters, 1 tap, 1 librarian, 2 Hellblasters, 1 tap the other, and they've maybe killed 2 of your Hellblasters to do that. And of course you still overwatch the shit out of something else. Yeah, so librarians, not doing it. Definitely not doing it with an LT. He's already 185 points. Most he's going to do is, you brought... He can get... How much does this thing cost? 40 points? Why does this cost 40 points for him? I mean, yeah, it's more accurate, but you're only getting 1. That should go down in points. That's nobody's gonna bring that. It either needs to go down in points or get more shots by a lot. Yeah. Anyway, we're not even. But I mean, so chainsword. Um, you'll kill one guy and wound another. Thunderhammer, you'll kill one and wound 3 others. You could do that twice, just about killing out the unit. That's actually not terrible considering you're also into the melee now with the enemy. The kicker there is 185 plus another 65, so that's 190 and 60, 250 point model. You need to kill basically 3 Hellblasters. And in exchange, you'll have killed 1 the first turn, the other 2 are just gonna blast you down. Because 5 armor model, 200 hit points. You're stuck right in the open. Ain't shit you can do. So you're not doing it with him. Apothecary, even worse, which is fine. He's still a solid model. He's just obviously not, because he's more buff focused, not going to be as effective as what you get out of the LT. Tech Marine, similar situation. He's centered around buffing vehicles. He's decent in melee, but not going to be the answer there. Lib Dread, we covered that. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could go for volatile 52 to 70, 52 to 70, 52 to 70. I guess that'd be one strategy. You just start suiciding a shit ton of dreads into the enemy. That's terrible though. 165, yeah. I guess you would do it, but I mean, like, pretty much the only way to get that to happen somewhat reliably, and even this would be terrible because it would be so freaking random. You use a Lib Dread to put the Shield of Sanguinis on probably your Ball Predator. Your Ball Predator pops Lucifer Pattern Engine so that he has enough movement to even attempt this stupidity. Moves up to 2 range, so that he's at his optimum range. Fires his weapon. Maybe you move him all the way so that you can use a Flamestorm cannon. As if we need this suicide strategy to be more expensive, right? And then you move up, you take a crap ton of damage. You hopefully get into that margin where you are more than 350 hit points of damage, but not yet dead because of the Shield of Sanguinis buff. You get in, you do your shooting. At the end of your turn, you blow up because the Shield of Sanguinis runs out, and you do another 52 to 70 of whatever is still in 1 tile reach of you that you didn't kill. Yeah. While we're looking at the Ball Predator, Flamestorm Cannon. Clear that. Okay. 20 attacks times 5 damage times 0.8. 80. That will kill a Hellblaster. You You could kill whatever one you target and do half damage to 2 more or total damage to 1 more. That's probably what you're going to do. So for the 275 points, you can make back half your points. Considering your 350 hit points with 9 armor, I guess that's not bad. That's actually, I mean, it's the best best we've come up with so far, right? Is that because of course you can keep doing that. The only thing you did was you popped Lucifer Pattern Engine to get that close in the first place. And of course, once you are that close, your 4 points of movement means that you will be able to prevent him from actually running away unless he doesn't shoot at all. Plus, of course, you've got your pintle gun for some pickup damage, right? I don't hate that. Where are we at with the heavy flamer if we were to try the same sort of thing? So this is 10 attacks at 7.5 damage times 0.7. Only 52. A lot less. On the other hand, 195 points. You could basically get 2 of these guys for the same price. You end up with a lot more hit points. On the other hand, you didn't get the movement skill. And that, because I don't think quickening. I don't think quickening can be targeted on an ally. If it can be targeted on an ally, 3 movement instead of 2, you get an evasion buff instead of an accuracy fall off penalty.
Victory for the Bloodblades! Victory for Skyfall!
My fury.
Yeah, that just affects him. You can't do it. And he, of course, cannot take a heavy flamer. Or a flamer or anything. So a dreadnought would be nice to do this with, but you don't have the movement really. So 350 hit points. Let's see how 350 hit points, 9 armor, right? So plasma incinerators, how are we looking here? Shooting back at you. How effective are they going to be? Regular plasma incinerator. It's going to be 4 attacks times 5 guys, because obviously I'm not going to worry about any super injured ones, whatever. They're going to be basically out of action, right? So 4 attacks each guy times 5 guys times 6 to 9. That's going to be 7.5. 7.5 times 1.3, because right, you're shooting at a heavily armored vehicle. You know you're gonna overcharge this shot. You have to, right? Get to 195. Now, he still has armor and you still have mischance. Against these big vehicles, they have negative evasion, so they're going to be sitting on no evasions. You're going to be hitting your full 80% accuracy without anything like an LT buff or a buff from a Land Raider, which a Land Raider with both the accuracy and the AP bonus would be really sexy to have. So, but let's ignore that. So you're going to be hitting 0.8 of your shots. You're going to be sitting on armor 7 versus, or I'm sorry, AP 7. Let's say it's that full 2 points. You know, both the Lib Dread and the Tech Marine buffed this Predator. So you're down 0.4 because he's 4 points of armor over your already impressive AP of 7. You're still doing 93.6 damage on average. So you need 4 Hellblasters to kill each Predator. Now what happens, I'm going to divide by 0.6 times 0.8 if they didn't get those armor buffs. You only need 3. Now this is the regular ones. And I guess actually if they have both of those, it's divide by 0.8 times 0.6. You're at 93 clear. 350 times 1.25. 437. So you're actually going to need 5 Hellblasters overcharging to kill a doubly buffed Ball Predator. So you're definitely going to be wanting preferably one land speeder to give you that AP bonus and accuracy bonus, because if we go back to this, actually, sorry, back to this, and instead of, actually, let's go back even further. Yeah, so we're gonna go, this is just our damage before anything like accuracy or penalty. Let's say you get that land speeder buff, you're looking at times 0.9 for your accuracy. Let's say he doesn't have, and now also you're at, with the overcharge and the land speeder, you're at AP 8, so you'd be looking at 0.9. If he had just the Tech Marine buff, you're looking at times 0.8. Yeah. Or if you're looking at, whoops, times 0.8. Whatever. You get the idea. Now, let's look at heavy plasma. Heavy plasma has the same overcharge? Yeah, same supercharge ability. So, 41 plus 55 divided by 2 times 5 guys times 0.7. Um, and then we need times 1.3 for our 30% damage bonus. So here's heavy plasma incinerators obviously already start with 7 armor piercing. You're going to get another one from that from the supercharge. So you're at 8. You'd only need 2, 3 if it's buffed up, times 0.8 if it's... Yeah, so you have just barely an outside... You have a less than great, but it's almost an average chance. Almost a perfect 50-50 of killing a ball predator that only has a tech marine buff. If he's got both the tech marine and librarian dreadnought buff, you're gonna need just a single regular Hellblaster. So that's 140 to 80 plus another 90. You spent as many points to kill him. Yeah, I mean, so definitely I think he's Lieutenant Quixotic had the right idea. Speaking of, let me, okay, he already marked himself as the victor for that. So yeah, you definitely need some heavy plasma incinerators to deal with charges like this, but even if it wasn't a mirror match, you'd still want some. You know, the worst case scenario is you've got these 2 heavy plasma incinerator Hellblaster squads, and the enemy didn't bring any heavy armor, in which case, I don't know, I guess you're just wandering around with this pair of pretty expensive units that between the 2 of them can somewhat somewhat reliably between the 2 of them one tap a 30-point Gant squad, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not great, but at the same time, they're not that fragile. And if your opponent didn't bring anything big, he also doesn't have any heavy-duty splash weapons to get rid of these guys. And of course, you still have the rest of your army. And that's in a non-mirror match. I mean, heck, even if these are doing how much damage a shot? 41 to 55. 2 squads of these, you one tap an intercessor a turn. I mean, you got to do that 4 times, right? But you know, like the intercessors aren't hitting you back as hard, and obviously they're gonna have all your regular Hellblasters to deal with as well. I'm not thinking this is a terrible choice, just to bring a couple of these guys along, in case, or in the eventuality that you're probably gonna have at least a couple of heavy armor things. So, Flamestorm Cannon Ball Predator. Makes half its points back. If you brought 2, he might not, especially after you went and fried 4 of his Hellblasters. Probably doesn't have the capability to deal with them necessarily without bringing in some of his other stuff. But he's got, I mean, you've just dumped a quarter of your army, right? 275 points times 2, over 500 points. That's 550 points you've thrown into him to knock out 4 squads of Hellblasters. At best, right? At best. Yeah. 4 squads of Hellblasters at best. He can just walk away from these things. They don't have melee attacks, so you're not getting any Zocs, which means he's not going to stick around for that explosion. He's probably not going to let you get rid of the heavy Hellblasters. Yeah, I mean, he overwatches the crap out of one. Or maybe you did a dread first to provoke the overwatch and then move these guys up so that they're both sitting up there with full HP. That might be the better move. Because a dread is way cheaper and and only 50 hit points less durability. Plus, since it doesn't have quite as much movement, yeah, Dreadnought's probably the better thing to do it, and then you can move these 2 guys up. But even with that, I don't see how he doesn't still get rid of them. You're right in front of him. He's going to have so much shooting left still. He's got all of his melee hanging around. All of his melee screen, which is pretty punchy still. And of course, again, no Zocs, so he just walks in behind you, hits you for the bonus damage. Y'all get some explosion damage on it, I guess. I mean, that might be enough. You're shoehorned into such a very particular strategy, though. So let's leave that aside for the moment. Plasma Inceptors, they do okay. You are still stuck with the fact that they're outranged, but otherwise they're okay. I don't take my word for it. I did the math. They trade reasonably well because of their higher armor value and higher hit point total. Well, you know, even with, I mean, you do need to pay for this Plasma Exterminator upgrade. So we can let's run the math here. So we've got 26 attacks times 3 guys, assuming of course they survived, times 2.5 damage. he's gonna times 0.7. And really, it's actually gonna be worse than this because it's actually gonna be so 26 times 3 times. It's actually gonna be 1 to 2 damage because of the way armor works. So times 1.5 is your average, times your base accuracy is 95. It's going to be 90 for their evasion. It's going to be 80 because you jumped. So times 0.8, 93. You killed one and wounded another, except obviously, again, that's going to get divvied across 3 different models, so you really did a little bit less than half health to each one. Now we can divide this by 75 points for the unit, 1.248 damage per point that you spent. So remember that 1.248. If we look at heavy plasma or the plasma exterminator instead, 12 shots times 3 guys. AP matches armor. So we're going to do our average damage of 5. And our accuracy is going to be 70 because we jumped, 65 because of their evasion. So times 0.65. 117 divided by our new cost of 115. Actually a little bit lower, so you are technically per point better off with the assault bolters. I would probably still go with the plasma exterminator just because it's going to be more useful when it comes to basically anything that has any armor. So like the 2 dreadnoughts, the predator, other inceptors, and aggressors, and actually even landspeeder tornadoes are sitting on at least 7 armor, if not 9 in the case of these 3 vehicles. And even regular land speeders at 6 armor are cutting your damage in half if you're running the assault bolters. They're just AP2 is kind of the minimum you need to really do anything against Blood Angels. So you can definitely get away with it, but you gotta realize you're basically stuck shooting at characters other than the Libdread, who all only have 5 armor, except I guess Tech Marines actually got 6, but yeah, he's also twice the price of a land speeder for 30 more hit points, and is way more important to try and kill anyway. So whatever you do to him matters. So yeah, the characters, jump packy boys, other than inceptors, and intercessors, and hellblasters. Which, I mean, to be fair, as we mentioned, hellblasters kind of a big deal, but if we go back to our calculator here, you're doing 117 total. Is it really only versus 90? Yeah, actually doing less with the plasma. Even still, and I mean that's down to that higher accuracy of the auto bolter or the assault bolter, whatever it is. Yeah. Um, But I mean, okay, so like even if you bring the 3 of these guys it's gonna take to kill 1 unit of Hellblasters, because a unit of Hellblasters is 350 plus another 25, 375 hit points. So you need more than 3. Oh no, wait a minute. $26 attacks times 3 guys, 78. Times the average damage of 117 times your 93. Okay, no, it is lower damage per squad if you do the bolters. That's just more points efficient because they're so much cheaper. Your plasma inceptors are gonna need Plasma Inceptors are gonna need 375. You're gonna need 4 squads. Whereas if you did these with the auto bolters or assault bolters, you need 375. You need 4? 360? No, you need 5. You might get it with only 4, but you're probably gonna need 5. And then you're wasting a bunch of damage, so you're probably doing it with the plasma ones, taking the lower points efficiency. But now you only need 4. Yeah, I mean, neither one of those is really good. That's to kill 1 squad of Hellblasters. How do the Hellblasters do back? Hellblasters are gonna do... Most of them are gonna be the plasma incinerators, because that's what you need against Blood Angels. 4 attacks times 5 guys. They could overcharge or not. Let's say they're not, but then we'll just ignore the armor because I don't feel like. I mean, they're AP 6. It's gonna be 0.9. I guess we can say it's 5 to 8. So 5 to 8 is gonna average 6.5 times 6.5. Accuracy is... What is the evasion on an Inceptor? So he's gonna kind of hang back. Interesting move, okay. I'm gonna speed this up 15. Here. This is my stream from last
Oh, he did
Saturday.
kill it, okay. I'm not sure how we missed that, but that's fine.
And I'm using this because it's gonna be faster than
look at all the
loading
damage on this land speeder that was not there before.
Another hot seat.
We didn't get to see our...
Just so we can see what the evasion is. Oh, except my head's in the way. Go figure. Never mind. I guess we will throw up a hot seat real quick. Assault Marines. Where's the Interceptors? There they are. Oh, it's not going to show me here.
I am the sword of Sanguinius. We will fall upon
Okay,
them with
only 5
righteous
evasion
fury.
still. What does
Predator
have
crew
more than
ready.
5?
Always ready.
Is it like just the land
Always
speeders?
vigilant. Tech Marine, standing by.
Priest has
Landspeeder
10,
crew
land
awaiting
speed
orders.
tornado 10, 15 on a regular land speeder. I think your LTs are 25. They're pretty dodgy. But they're actually pretty unusual. All the other characters, okay, these two characters are 10. Tech Marine's only 5, but he's also 6 armor.
Only in death will my duty be
Dreadnought's
completed.
obviously bulky, minus 20. Ball Predator's interesting, only minus 15. 10 points on
My blade
Death Company's
for the
negative
Lord
5.
Emperor!
Too busy aggressing to dodge, I guess.
Ranged plasma on your request.
Okay. So... Uh, 20 shots times your average damage of 6.5, 130 damage. Accuracy is 0.8 minus 5%, so that's times 0.75. And we can say you didn't overcharge. And so he's got... Oh wait, we already did the armor. Back to here. We already did the armor. That's why our average is 6.5 instead of 7.5. 97.5. You're killing a guy. You only need 3 Hell Blasters with Plasma Incinerators versus them needing 4. And you're the cheaper model, cheaper unit. 90 points versus 115. Heavy Plasma Incinerators, if you're stuck using them, obviously not ideal at this point. You know, we're 41 plus 55. You do at least not need to worry about armor. You're at AP 7, even without overcharging. Divided by 2 times 5 guys times 0.65. 156. You need 2 of them. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's 140 points each. So, you know, 280 points to kill a single 115 point squad. But that's not bad. You've made almost half your points back. It's worse, not better, because of the better AP efficiency. Oh, that's terrible. Just to check here. 90 hit points, yeah. Your average damage of 48 means, in general, 2 shots kills a guy. You'll get, you know, a few lucky, like, I got 2 hit points left, that you might need, say, you know, your Stormbolter on your free Stormbolter on the Dreadnought that you didn't have points to upgrade. you use that to pick off a occasional inceptor or a pistol on one of your characters, whatever. Yeah. You're not using inceptors to counter Hellblasters. They do reasonably well, but they don't trade that great. Um, yeah. Assault Marines. Just no. You're going to put some hurt on. They'll take a penalty disengaging. And if they don't, you've got some cover, but you're so frickin' squishy. At 48 average damage, remember? Without taking into account the bonus crit, you're reasonably good odds of getting one tapped by the heavy incinerators for each shot that does hit. Obviously, there's going to be some missing going on, but you're still looking at losing probably 2 guys. I mean, you're only costing 70 points. You're half the price of heavy incinerators, but yeah. Intercessors. I mean, we'll do the math, but I'm not liking the odds here. So, 8 shots. You're looking at before we get to that. What's 5 times you're 3 points under? So times 0.7. It's gonna be 3.5. So 3, because we always round down. So your damage is gonna be 2 to 3. So 5. I'm sorry. Whoops. Well, 8 shots times 5 guys times an average damage of just 2.5 times an accuracy of 0.75. 75. Yeah. What's their hit points? 75. You killed 1 guy. You're going to need 5 for an average kill. That's with the bolt rifles. Bearing in mind, again, they're only 20 points more than you. Auto bolt rifles, not going to be looking pretty, but I think a little bit better because you're only 10 points more. And we're going to be, hang on real quick, 4 times 0.6, 2.4. 3 times 0.6 is going to be 1 because you always round down. So I guess we're 1 to 2. So this is going to be 12 shots times 5 guys times 1.5 times your accuracy of 0.85. 76.5. So you actually are doing worse. You're only barely doing more damage. 76.5 versus 75, and you paid 10 points for the privilege. Yeah, about that. Oh, and you know what I just realized? I did 85% accuracy. You're actually going to be at 80% accuracy, so it's actually worse. If we go back to here, times 0.8 instead of 0.85, yeah, 72 damage. Just barely worse. It's probably a little bit more consistent with the higher accuracy. I mean, you are 0.8 instead of 0.85, or instead of 0.75. And, you know, many small shots are better. Um, things might get a little bit different with the 30% range damage. Might benefit the auto bolt rifle a little more. Because that's going to offset a lot of that armor penalty. But I mean, you're gonna need 5 intercessors to kill one Hellblaster unit. You'd be better off using the grenades. Clear. Let's see, 26 to 35. That's a range of 9, so 4.5. So 30.5 times 0.6, 18 per guy. Actually, 18 per guy times the 5 guys in the squad, 91. It's better, but not by much. And considering you can't use your battle line tactics, it's probably not worthwhile. Or, I mean, you can, but it's not going to do you any good, right? Frag grenade's not affected by battle line tactics. So it's actually worse. Unless he's got, you know, a decent bit of cover. In which case, the fact that grenades are going to ignore cover will make a difference. So yeah, because we can look at, so the Hellblaster is shooting at intercessors. We're just gonna assume again the plasma incinerators. Again, it's 4 times 5 times 0.8 times 7.5. Ignore the fact that they've actually got a bit of bonus crit chance. 120 back to you. They're only 20 points more, assuming you didn't take the auto bolt rifle upgrade. Upgrade in this case. I mean, against Tyranids, it's kind of a no-brainer upgrade, but again, in this case, not so much. Yeah. You're doing 91 or... No, 91 was the grenade. You're doing 75 plus... yeah, I guess it's with the... Yeah. They're doing more damage to you by a third at least. Give or take. And they're... what? Less than a third more expensive? Plus, they're longer range than you. Which means, again, you need... you're sacrificing HP pool to get in to shoot in the first place. So the closest thing we have to a counter to first turn Blood Angels Hellblasters is Flamestorm Cannonball Predators. As a curiosity, Twin Assault Cannon. Clear. 3 to 4 is going to be, let's see, 3 is going to drop to 2, 4 times 0.8, 3.2, yeah, so it's going to be 2 to 3. So 80 attacks times 2.5 damage times 0.85 accuracy, 170, you're going to kill 2.5 models. Yeah, nowhere close to worth doing an assault cannon for Hellblasters instead of the flame cannon. The twin assault cannon, way more versatile with being able to do actual damage against armor. But the fact that this is going to do, I mean, you know what? Let's look at that. Clear. I'm assuming that should still be 2 to 3 against, say, a land speeder at 6 armor. Probably looking, I mean, 4 times 0.6. So 1 to 2 against something with 7 armor. 80 times 1.5 times 0.85. You're still looking at almost, against 7 armored targets, you're still looking at around 100 damage. I mean, so that's 100 if you did this. Clear. 4 times 0.6 2 clear. 6 times 0.6 we should end up with 3. Yeah, so 2 to 3. So 20 times 2.5, but it's going to auto hit 50 damage. Yeah, you're way less damage with the Flamestorm cannon against your 7 armor single model targets. But considering, like, say you're shooting Inceptors or Aggressors, where it's 3 models at 7 armor, instead of 50 damage, you're doing 150 damage. So you can, again, 2-tap to kill, which is not bad, considering you're still a 350 hit point, 9 armor model in his face. I mean, they've got a lot more Inceptors than you have. Well, Predators, I guess. There's 3 of them. But still. So, yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to want some heavier AP options. But this is as close as we can get. To maybe even 3 ball Predators with Flamestorm cannons. Yeah, I think that's what you bring. Bait Dread. Move your ball Predators up. Shred them. Alright, so let's, with that done, so let's see. Alright, so we need, to make that work, we need a Tech Marine and a Lip Dread. We need a regular Dread. Now we have our damage bait. We need Predator with a Flamestorm. Predator with a Flamestorm. Now we can at least fry 4 of the Hellblasters to get ourselves back in the running. Now we need some Hellblasters of our own, plus 2 more with heavy plasma. This gives us some pretty solid armor counter. We want, I think, 2 land speeders. Gives us some data link telemetry capability. Oh, that's minus 15. I thought it was minus 10. It's minus 15. I wonder if there's a difference between minus 15 evasion and plus 15 accuracy. Probably not. It's worth noting this you do have to get pretty close. Now, the other thing I'm gonna point out here, we only have 55 points left. I think you do a squad of plasma inceptors instead. And you just be really careful with this land speeder. Have it just sit in the back and heavy bolter things. And then if you need to bring it up for the data link telemetry, you do. You don't go claim objectives, as tempting as it would be. You just... This is obviously not something that's going to work on a lot of maps. If you're on a map like Hivetop that we had last round, I'd probably, instead of doing some of the regular Hellblasters, I'd maybe grab more of the Inceptors just to get the jump packs, because they're not that much worse. And if you're going second, it's not like you've got the Overwatch really anyway. Yeah, I think you do this. You run basically all your armor goes straight up the center except the land speeder. That's gonna hang back to provide buffs against a target for your Hellblasters wherever you need be. You have the Inceptor and maybe like 2 of your Hellblasters, 2 of the regular Hellblasters, not the heavy plasma incinerator 2, but the regular ones. You have those 3, go claim one of your other objectives. Maybe you bring the land speeder on that side because you've got enough. You know, you've still got the 2 heavy plasmas and 2 other plasma guys. You probably have enough punch power against high armor targets, plus, you know, a Librarian Dreadnought and whatever's left of the other Dreadnought and the Power Axe on the Tech Marine, maybe. Probably not. You probably want to keep him safe, but the point is it's there. You've got some capability to deal with heavy armor, so having him over to give AP bonuses to your regular. Yeah, you control the center off these 6, 7, 8. Another and the other and one flank with these. Can you do it? Create new. What do you got to deal with here? So, I'm the first player, and I am ready to rock here. I think I bring a lieutenant for tactical precision. Giving the extra armor piercing and the extra accuracy is just too sexy to give up. plus his ability to punish anything that gets too close to me is also pretty nice. I think he didn't bring an apothecary. I think 100. Well, that's 145 points. I could, for the cost of the apothecary, bring a whole nother squad, almost 2 squads. Do I need to bring the lieutenant? You pretty much want to have an HQ option. Maybe you bring the apothecary. He still has the Embrace of the Blood, which, I mean, only every other turn instead of every turn. But you're going to get so much crit chance that's probably pretty solid still. Plus you get the healing. And he still melees decently well. I think you bring an apothecary instead. I could also see doing... Actually, no. Libdread, because yeah, he's a lot of points. He's super tanky. He hits anything that gets in your face. He has some really good abilities, and yeah, I think this is. I think you Libdread as your HQ. Librarians are cool. Unfortunately, they don't synergize for shit. Okay, so I've got my Hellblasters. I want a couple of land speeders in case I need them. I need something to throw up a melee screen. Could be dreadnoughts. Let's assume it's the mirror. I can see why he went with some Death Company. Because, I mean, here we go. There's 2 more. Throw in a couple of Death Company. We still have 225 points. $225 means 375 point units. I mean, or 210 point units. Oops. 2, not 3. Not quite. $135. That is exactly an aggressor. I don't mind that. They're a little bit more punchy than the dreadnoughts here. And technically have more total HP. They're a little more vulnerable with lower armor. But it does fit in your points. Yeah, I mean, so let's look at this. So you set up your Overwatch. You've got some ambushing going on here, right? I think we only did... Yeah, just 2 heavy plasma incinerators. Set up your ambush. You don't kill. Let's see, how do you set your ambush up? Let's say I keep 6 in the middle, 3 on one flank, with 2 land speeders. I have my Death Company sitting between the 2 flanks, ready to support. This guy's sitting in the back, ready to jump on whatever tries to get close, or maybe he sits right in front. I'd probably sit him in the back. You've already got 2 dreadnoughts and an aggressor unit in front of you, right? That's already pretty solid. Keep this guy safe, right? So I've got 6 Hellblasters and some bolter fire, right? Nothing that's gonna matter if it does Overwatch something heavy, right? So I don't quite kill, right? Actually, I do. Don't I? Four attacks times 30 guys. Let's assume that it's not even the heavy plasma incinerators, which are better. 4 attacks. So this is going to be at minus 50%. So that's 3 to 4.5, so 3 to 4. So 4 attacks times 30 guys overwatching times an average damage of 4.5 times, let's say I set for optimum one past optimum range, 0.7 accuracy times 0.7, 378. Yeah, I don't quite 378. 300. Oops. Times 1.25. Okay. I have an average chance, give or take, of killing a dreadnought. If nothing else, it's going to die as soon as the buff runs out. So I effectively kill a dreadnought. At 378, I've effectively killed a predator as well. The predators come up and fry 4 guys. That would seriously mess up the plans, but I have a lot more on my flank. Than this army does. 2 and an Inceptor and a land speeder, so that's 3 plasma units and a land speeder versus 3 plasma units and 2 land speeders plus 2 death company that can jump into support. Yeah. As for dealing with the 2 ball predators that suddenly jumped into my face, I've got 100 hit points. I'm probably killing one of them. And I can lock the other one in melee. Between these two anyway. And honestly, even killing 4 of these guys is assuming that I didn't set it up so that he had to go through the dreadnoughts first. Which I would set that up so that you're at least provoking a Zoc. At least. Which is probably gonna hit. So at that point you're down a Dread and a Pred. I'm gonna ignore the flank. You still got these 4. You knock out one other armor. There's no... You might be able to get into the others. Yeah. That maybe does the trick. That maybe cracks the center enough while still leaving your stuff alive. It's the only counter I see. I don't know. All right. I've been going. How long have I been going at this now? This recording. Does OBS not tell me? Doesn't look like it tells me. It's very long. I'm gonna post this. You guys can tell me what you think. Let me know if my analysis is wrong. I don't think it is, but there you go. I don't see another way to beat it. You're still in for a tough fight. How do you beat this now? I'm not sure how you beat this now. I mean, ball predators crack anything. I guess you just run more heavy incinerators and careful deployment so that your Hellblasters can't get hurt. Yeah. Alright. That's it for my analysis. I'm gonna set this to upload, go to bed. It's 1 in the morning. Sergeant Xenog signing off.